Dear friends, the great Russian writer Leo Tolstoy influenced a large number of personalities. Mahatma Gandhi was also one of them. In 1909, Gandhiji got a letter in Russian which was written by Tolstoy. Gandhiji wanted to publish that letter in his newspaper, Indian Opinion. Therefore, Gandhiji sought permission from Tolstoy, and later that Tolstoy later was published in Gujarati and other languages. Why Tolstoy's letter is so important, and why Mahatma Gandhi was so keen on publishing that letter? The context is that the freedom struggle was already in full swing, and many freedom fighters were taking revolutionary and extra constitutional methods. In that context, Tolstoy replied to the editor of a newspaper, Free Hindustan, in which Tolstoy disagreed with the methods used by the freedom fighters. And this letter is very important because it talks about not only Tolstoy's ideas and thoughts on love, but also his philosophy. What Leo Tolstoy thought of love, and why that concept was relevant in early 20th century, and why this is still relevant. First of all, we have to keep in mind that Tolstoy was influenced by the masses, the teaching and the life of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ's message of love influenced perhaps Leo Tolstoy most. Tolstoy, though a believer in Christianity and Jesus Christ's message, was also a great opponent of religious dogmas and institutionalized religion. He is also very critical of the so-called scientific truth, the scientific development, and in the 18th and 19th century, the way history is perceived in a linear way, and the way social Darwinism was used to propagate the idea of survival of the fittest. Tolstoy is opposed to both superstitions, scientific superstitions as well as religious superstitions. He argues in that letter that scientific dogmas have taken the place of religious dogmas. Tolstoy, although is influenced by Jesus Christ and his message of love, but Tolstoy believes that all religions teach humanity and love. Tolstoy believes that love is basic, fundamental moral values, and that moral values cannot be compromised in any circumstances. Tolstoy is of the opinion that even though we have to fight evil, even if we have to fight those who are doing wrong things, the use of violence is never justified. For Tolstoy, love represents the supreme values, and that value should never be compromised. Tolstoy has disagreed with those revolutionaries who believed in violent methodology because they argued that their cause were just, but Tolstoy says no, it is not correct. Even though you are opposing the wrong people, the tyrants, the evildoers, your message, your methodology, your strategy should be based on love. Tolstoy's understanding of love is basically the critique of violent methodology, and in one way we could say that he believes that means and ends should match each other. He is not of the opinion that if means are wrong, and could be right. Tolstoy keeps arguing in this letter that human beings believe and they cherish, and their natural tendency is love, and they should never try to imitate the strategy and methodology of the tyrants. To elaborate his point, he says that India, which is such a vast country, was captured, controlled, and ruled over by the Britishers, who came with a very small number of people. He says that how could that be possible, that the minority, the very few people, could rule over the majority? His argument is that it is wrong to believe that the Britishers have enslaved Indians. According to him, the right way to approach this problem is that the Indians have themselves enslaved by following the strategy of the tyrants and oppressors and by resorting to violent methodology. So, Tolstoy's message is that Indians, if they have to fight the British rule, if they have to fight the unjust rule, they should never use violence, but they should follow peaceful means, and they should never give up the strategy, the methodology, and the philosophy of love, which he says that this message of love is the supreme law. And he says not only Christ, who has clearly explained the importance of love, but all prophets, they all have given the message of love, and we need to really take love very seriously. And Tolstoy says that love as a methodology can only be properly used by the human beings if they become spiritual. And here Tolstoy makes a difference that being a spiritual doesn't mean that you have to uphold religious dogmas and institutionalize religion. In one way, Tolstoy was far ahead than his contemporaries Europeans. Tolstoy has said very clearly that Indians are morally, religiously far more superior than the Europeans who are ruling over them. But because of the fact that the Indians are now imitating the methodology of the oppressors, they have enslaved themselves. So in conclusion, the message of Tolstoy is that we should always uphold love. Love cannot be compromised. It is supreme law, not of the Christianity, but of all the prophets. And even if we have to resist evil, even if we have to resist the wrongdoers, the tyrants, we must adopt, and we must only adopt the methodology of the love, because love is natural to human being, violence is not natural. This is what Tolstoy had to say on love. And in this world where violence is happening everywhere, where war is taking the lives of so many people, his message today becomes perhaps more relevant. Thank you very much.